Welcome to the first compilation of 3 great Half-Life mods, the series where I usually review 3 mods that I think are great. In this one it will be 15, due to me putting together the first 5 episodes in a compilation. The videos are however revoiced, as episodes 1, 2 and 3 of the series either had no commentary or a bad one. And if you're new here, you can now watch the first 5 episodes in a concise way. Even if you have seen some episodes before, I still recommend to watch this video, simply because the first videos are so much better with commentary now. The first mod for today is Forest Train by Jenssen Gimba. You are on a mission to disable a combined force field before a train full of refugees from 2017 passes through it. The mod is just in an hour in playtime and features great looking environments, awesome combat and custom voice characters. The design of this mod makes it feel like it's a map taken straight out of episode 2, which I think is a good thing. You will find that this mod does not include any regular puzzle sections as you know them. It substitutes this, however, with interesting enemy encounters. You get thrown into situations that you have to figure/fight your way out of. It's also great that you actually feel like you're doing something important. There are actual stakes to what you're doing. If you don't manage to disable the force field, a lot of people will die. If I had to put a label on this mod, I'd say it's mostly combat based. Definitely be sure to try it out. I give it an 8.5 out of 10 personally. The second mod for today is Impropable by Magnus Jenssen. If you've played any Half-Life mods in your time, this was most likely one of them. This mod has an incredible atmosphere. It's a unique style never seen before in Half-Life. On your mission you will meet a new character along with his own funny custom voice lines.
Should I be worried?
Stop being such a negative Nancy.
The combat in this mod is great as well. Along with a few puzzles and some driving, this feels like the true Half-Life experience. Playing this mod you will feel like you are in an action movie, with lots of exciting surprises around every corner. Included are a lot of custom models, textures and particles, which really turns this mod into candy for your eyes. It also switches up the environments you're in, all of them looking really beautiful. The mod is about 2 to 3 hours in playtime. My rating for this mod is 10 out of 10, as there is truly nothing to complain about. The next mod is a relatively new one, Rebel Search by Cabbage. This mod is about 2 years old and uses map base, which allows modders to create maps with a lot more features than usual. It's only about 30 minutes to play through and is different depending on the difficulty you play it at. After the explosion in Nova Prospect, Gordon Freeman teleports to City 16, right during the beginning of the Uprising. It plays a lot like the City 17 chapters in Half-Life 2. You fight through streets alongside your rebel friend. The final battle is a big shootout between you and a bunch of command soldiers. There's great custom music and lots of potential fun to be had using the gravity gun. It doesn't really have a story and very few puzzles. If you aren't a fan of the City 17 chapters, this mod might not be for you. While perhaps not as fleshed out as others, this mod is a great playthrough. I give it a 7.5 out of 10 and I definitely recommend you to check it out. The next mod is Transmissions Element 120 by Shokunin, Thomas M. Visser and Vincent Thiele. This mod is best known for its very unique gameplay mechanics, featuring a completely reworked gravity gun. Alongside with the incredible level design and the gravity concussion gun, as it's called in this mod is a very fun playthrough. It also features beautiful new shaders and color correction that make this mod aesthetically unique. Not only that, the custom music, which you're hearing right now, is an awesome addition to this mod's atmosphere. The fun combat sections include a lot of creative ways to kill the incoming zombies. This mod takes about 2 hours to play through and includes a lot of environmental storytelling, like zooming in on these QR codes which will reveal a message. While not featuring a real overarching story, the gameplay completely makes up for it. I personally give it a 9 out of 10. The next mod is Locomotive by Northfell Studios. This mod is one of my personal favorites. This mod only takes about an hour to play through, everything being in a single map. My favorite part of this mod is the custom NPC and custom NPC animations, something I've basically only seen in this mod ever. This mod doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It plays a lot like a classic Half-Life 2 level and does this really well. This mod features a bit of story. It is not the main part of this mod though. It's a level design which I think is the highlight. The combat sections are perfect for the gravity gun, which I personally love to see. This mod includes a bonus map which places the mod in a night setting, which I've never seen a mod do before as well. While it's one of my favorites, I will rate it a bit more objectively and give it a 7.5 out of 10. The next mod is Year-Long Alarm by Chuck Wilson. This mod is set in episode 2 like Mind and at the same time as the events of episode 1. It is available on Steam and takes about 1 to 2 hours to play through. This mod is very beautiful and features some pretty fun puzzles and combat. While not featuring a story, there is some great environmental storytelling every so often. I don't have a lot to say about this one, just be sure to check it out. I give it an 8.5 out of 10 personally. The next mod is Entropy 0 by Breadman, a mod everyone should be familiar with. In this mod you play the role of a Metro Corp station in City 10 months before the happenings of Half-Life 2. This mod makes great use of the role you play as. You even get to deploy your own manhacks. The level design features familiar yet new settings, mostly featuring battles against the rebels. It even features environmental storytelling in form of the Thiele graffitis you can find, which I personally think are really cool. Due to this mod being on Steam, you even get to unlock achievements for it. And not to brag or anything, but I've got all of them. I challenge you to do the same. I personally give this mod an 8.5 out of 10, a unique mod I definitely suggest you to check out. This next mod is actually a pretty new one, Evacuation by the Evac dev team. This mod released about a month ago on Steam and is somewhere between 1 and 2 hours long. This mod manages to create a pretty unique feeling when playing it. It's still under development, but it's already a really fun playthrough, not only featuring custom voice acting. There are tons of new mechanics which spice up the gameplay. For example, you can now use the iron side of your weapons. You have a usable medkit, and each weapon slot can only carry one weapon at a time. All these features combined make for an interesting experience. One small issue I'll note is that you can turn off the custom view bobbing, which is an option I hope they'll add in the future. Like, I think it's done well, but nah. I personally give this mod a 7.5 out of 10, but I can see it go up to an 8 or 9 if it continues to improve upon its features. The next mod for today is Precursor by the Precursor team. This mod feels the most classic Half-Life feel out of all the ones today, and it also ties into the story really well. The story is only subtly told, and it's hard to tell you what's happening without spoiling it entirely, but I'll let you know that it's a really cool idea. You play as a rebel in City 17 and get caught in an apartment raid right at the start of the mod, which throws you right into the adventures that lie ahead. This mod has a bunch of memorable moments and a fun boss battle later on in the mod. It features set pieces that are familiar to Half-Life 2 as well as Episode 2 near the end of the mod. This mod is over 11 years old, and while it does show a little life feel, it still is definitely worth a playthrough. I personally give it an 8 out of 10. The next mod is Silent Escape by ProBones. This mod is a personal favorite of mine. You wake up in a rebel hideout and are greeted by a custom voiced character named Thomas. Thomas calls us by the name
Sean,
and tells us we have to
get to Kevin's lab.
He also tells us that his hideout has been found by the Combine, which is proven right by it being attacked immediately afterwards. This first mod shows off the very fun level design. It also rewards the player for actually checking everywhere. These maps are of such high standard they will fit perfectly into Half-Life 2. On your way to Kevin's lab you meet someone named James, apparently another friend of yours. The combat here is pretty well made, although I'm unsure if a hunter in the middle of a city makes sense. Take a note of the distance we have to the Citadel here. After reaching Kevin's lab we get the gravity gun and find out that he has a teleporter. We proceed to enter the teleporter, and in the exact moment we are teleported, the Combine storm the building. This causes the teleporter to malfunction, bringing you somewhere completely random. See how far the Citadel is now. From here you fight through bots of enemies, through different types of environments on your way back to your friends. The environments this mod features go everywhere from just general outer forest levels, mines, the city, and Ravenholm type levels. This mod is about 2 hours long, and the story actually features twists and turns you wouldn't expect. It's a lot of fun. The only criticism I give it is that it's sometimes not obvious what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go. Otherwise, this is a mod you won't forget after playing it. I personally give it a 9 out of 10. The next mod for today is actually a map maps competition called iCandy 2. In these, a lot of people submit their own maps. You only get somewhere between 3 weeks and a month to make these. The theme of this competition is, as I said, iCandy, which basically just means you create a map that looks nice. Part of the reason I'm mentioning this mod is due to me actually having entered this competition. I'm gonna very quickly move through all of these, so get ready. Winter Intrusion has you stealing something in a lovely winter landscape. A Dire Emergency is a map in which you have to run to the toilet in a spaceship type level. Trainwreck is a very short map in which you fight Combine in a train. The Bank Job is basically a movie in a map featuring a bank heist. Kate, my map, is a map about someone having a car crash causing him to go through his memories. Idyllic is basically Comfy Home Simulator 2023 and is an astonishingly beautiful map. Red Letter Day 2 is a funny map that has basically as many jokes as possible fit into a very small space. Boatgator features the player as a cop checking out mysterious happenings at a shoreline. F for Phantom 2 is a map in which you fly a jet, which I was never able to get very far in due to the funky controls, but I respect the attempt to do something like this in the Source engine. These are all my ratings for each map. I highly suggest you check it out, and I give this mod an overall 8 out of 10. They all did really well. The next mod is Sebastian by Jason Gimba. This mod has an alternative story to episode 1, in which Gordon is still stuck in City 17 along with Barney. Barney has new voice lines which are really well made, even if not sounding exactly like Barney.
We have to get out of town before the Citadel blows.
The basic premise of this mod is that there's a strider in the way of you and Barney in escaping the city before the Citadel explodes. The mod can basically be divided up into 3 sections: intro, underground, and hospital. You might notice how this is very similar to episode 1 itself, and I must say, playing this mod it feels a lot like playing Half-Life 2 episode 1, but I think that this is a good thing. The combat throughout the mod is very fun and well balanced. Barney interacting with these NPCs feels really natural.
I'm always saying something's about to blow. I ain't buying it this time.
You're crazy! Have you seen the Citadel lately?
But I do think it's kinda weird how he just leaves them behind to escape the strider. But I think that's just something that Barney is ready to do in this alternate episode 1. The level design is really nice and it's up to Half-Life 2 standard. The ending boss fight is a very unique mechanic which I don't want to give away for anyone planning to play it. I just say that there is no RPG inside for this. Overall I give this mod an 8 out of 10. The next mod is Deep Down by Partridge. This mod is actually about to turn 10 years old. This mod feels a lot like Half-Life 2 episode 2. You start in a silo that is getting attacked. To stop this attack you have to go and kill an advisor. I will get into that plot point later. Alex is here and will actually accompany you throughout this whole mod. The maker of this mod really took the extra step to include a lot of Alex dialogue in this mod, which a lot of mods fail to do, which causes Alex to seem like a dull gun for hire that accompanies you. The levels of this mod are designed really well and look great. The environments featured are basically everything you get to see in episode 2 plus a few new ones. I do have a few gripes with this mod that will affect the rating a bit. While the looks and readability of the level design is great, there is basically no clipping. By that I mean invisible walls that stop the player from basically climbing everywhere. It was very easy to climb out of the map or climb somewhere where you weren't supposed to go a lot of times. The other thing is that the places in this mod sometimes don't really make sense. There are these very large tunnels built for striders in the mines. But why do they exist? Also, why are Magnus down here? Also, why do we need to kill an Visser to stop the attack on the silo? This still doesn't take away too much from this mod's great experience. I still recommend everybody to play it. I give it a 7 out of 10. This next mod is actually the first time I'll be featuring a Half-Life 1 mod in this series, which I plan to do more often from now on. The mod in question being Edge of Darkness by Chris Spain. The player is tasked with the mission of killing Dr. Damien Smith, who uses the model of G-Man. He isn't supposed to be G-Man though. Instead, he's wanted for several crimes, like 389 outstanding parking tickets. This is kinda a unique plot point for a Half-Life mod actually. You rarely have the task of killing a specific person. The level design is also great. It is quite extravagant when compared to other Half-Life 1 mods. It does have some weird quirks in its world building, like these couple scientists still working amidst a full-on war happening 2 rooms further, but I let that slide, as the rest of this mod is really cool. It kinda diverts from Half-Life's original story and I love that. It's something really different for once, especially for a Half-Life 1 mod. I'll give this one a 9 out of 10. I highly recommend it. The final mod for today is a brand new one, and also a highly anticipated one. Entropy 0 Uprising. Episode 1. Made by Employee 8 and Filipad. This is finally enough, a mod for Entropy 0. You know, the other mod that I also covered where you play as a Metro Cop. I hope you've heard of it before. In this mod you play as a Metro Cop during the Uprising, which, if you need a reminder, is the event that happens while Gordon and Alex are stuck in their 1-week teleport. This mod is incredible from start to finish. It stays very true to the Half-Life story, but also creates its own one. Also, since this is only episode 1 of this mod, by playing it you're subscribing to what I can see becoming a staple in the Half-Life modding universe. I cannot spoil anything, but oh man, the story is great and interesting. The level design is also impeccable, the buildings are also lovingly crafted while still fitting perfectly into SCP-17. The interactions you have with the other Metro Cops are great. This mod has a ton of voice acting, and it all sounds really great.
You know, when I said I hate this, I forgot to mention that I hate this even more. What could possibly be taking so long? Does no one here know where the damn generator is located?
One minor criticism is that captions are a must-have, but this is a problem with all combined voice lines basically. If I could magically fix one thing about this mod, I would turn on the mixing a bit so that the words are a bit clearer, but with captions this isn't a problem of any kind. This mod is really well written, so you really don't want to miss any of the story. The weapons are changed. You actually get recoil on your weapons, especially on SMG, which you now have to basically burst fire instead of just spraying. You also get the MP5, which is said to be an out-of-service weapon. This mod truly has it all. A couple hours of playtime, different types of environments, beautiful, and I mean truly beautiful skyboxes and views. Like, look at this looks like a Left 4 Dead 2 rooftop level. You also get more fun interactions with the Metro Cops, like them allowing you to climb up on the shoulders and up to somewhere. There are also a ton of minor interactions that make the world feel incredibly alive. And if that wasn't enough, there's also a custom soundtrack, which I've been playing for the past minute or so. If you only were to play one mod of this list, it should be this one. This is a 10 out of 10 in my books. I'm also very excited to see episode 2 of this someday. Let me know what mods you wanna see next. Check out my other videos, and otherwise, thank you for watching.